During this podcast, I will be talking about coaching theories that underpin our coaching and a range of techniques on how to improve my coaching. The main coaching theories that get used today tend to be acronyms. An acronym is a word where each letter in the word has a different meaning. The main acronym used in coaching methods is IDEAS, which means introduction, demonstration, explanation and activity, and summary. Now, for the IDEAS model to be effective, you need to split them up into timings. By timings, I mean you don't want the introduction to be long, you just want it to be short and straight to the point. For the demonstration, you want it to be longer than the introduction, but still not too long, as everyone will just be sitting there watching what you do. The explanation should be short, just describing what you had done during the demonstration. For an effective demonstration, you'll need to tell people when you are starting, then not say anything whilst you do the demonstration, and then tell them when it is over. This way they know what exactly it is they need to look at. Save keeping everyone waiting around after the explanation, ask everyone in the group if they need to see it again. Some members of the group will probably say no and want to just get on with it, which is fine. Just make sure you keep an eye on them, making sure they're doing all the correct moves. The others that want to see the demonstration again, you can show them, and this way you're not holding back the rest of the group, as you've sent half away just to try. As you've sent half away to try it whilst the other half watch the demonstration again. The activity should be the longest part of the session. For this part, you will have set everyone a task, whether that's in pairs or on their own. Either way, you will get some members of the group finishing the task before others, which is why you need to have something for them to progress onto. For example, if you set everyone the task of paddling sideways in a kayak, where they draw the paddle in and then slice it out, they could progress onto drawing the paddle into the kayak, but then doing an underwater recovery, where they rotate the blade and slice away from the kayak with the paddle still under the water. Finally, the summary. This is the perfect time to get feedback from the group about what they thought went well about the session and what they thought went badly, and vice versa. You can give group members feedback at the end on what they could do to carry on progressing and what the next stage would be. Another coaching theory used is specific, which means another coaching theory used is SMART, which means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time-based. This coaching theory is used for a different reason to the IDEAS theory. The reason for this is that the IDEAS theory is mainly used for teaching a new skill, whereas the SMART goal is used for progressing in skills. Now, although the IDEAS model can be used to progress in skills and techniques, the SMART goal makes them more achievable, as everything is broken down into smaller sections and it helps you work on your weak points. For example, a climber can't just rock up to a climbing competition and expect to win. They must plan months in advance and work on certain weaknesses and even strengths. For example, they need to be specific in what they wish to achieve. This could be sport climbing, so their main aim will be to build up strength, flexibility and endurance. The measurable side of things could be to see how many climbs you can do back to back at the start of your training, and then a few weeks or months down the line, try again and see if you can beat your previous record. Achievable. Have you left yourself enough time to get yourself fit enough to compete at a competition level? Realistic. Is the goal you're setting possible? For example, if you haven't even started league climbing yet and the competition is in 5 months, the chances of you going in for the competition and winning are very slim, which leads to the last section, time-based. Make sure you leave yourself enough time to start training months before whatever it is you're aiming towards. Leave something to the last minute, you will only set yourself up to fail, resulting in a lack of confidence and will to try again next time. The second part of the podcast will be about a range of techniques used to improve our coaching. Now, although the IDEAS model and the SMART goals methods are used for coaching, they mainly get used for planning sessions out and making the session run smoothly, what helps helps improve you as a coach, and your coaching comes down to a few things. The first being observation analysis. When I say observation analysis, I don't just mean watching over the group. I mean watching what each member of the group does and see if they are doing what you have asked them to do correctly. This is harder than it seems, and it doesn't matter what sport you're coaching. If you've shown your group how to do a low brace in a kayak, for example, and everyone gets it, but one, you need to be able to figure out what they're doing wrong. This involves breaking everything down from body position to what the boat is doing and what the paddle is doing. A low brace is a hard one to figure out, as 50% of what goes on occurs inside the boat. What I mean by that is, for a low brace, you need to be able to flick your hips to get your boat flat on the water again. So if I was performing a low brace, I would edge to the boat to the right by lowering my right knee and hip and tip my right. To recover this, I would flick my right hip back up and bring the knee back to the support. Now imagine coaching people this whilst they've got a spray deck on, so you can't see what the bottom half of their bodies are doing. So before starting the session, a good way to show your group what they need to do inside the boat is to get them sitting on the bank outside of the kayaks, and then getting them to have a go before moving into the kayaks. Once you've done this, get them all on the water and sitting in front of you, and then ask each one of them to edge a little, then flick the hips like you showed them whilst on the bank before moving on to the next task. Observation analysis also consists of having a wide knowledge of the sport. The main reason for this is so you can offer a different approach to certain techniques. Take climbing, for example. A certain technique might help you on a climb, but then if someone tries after you and they try the exact same technique at the exact same move, but they just can't make the next hold. Now imagine that they are doing everything that you've done, from body positioning to foot placement and technique, i.e. reverse flagging, smearing and laybacks. You need to be able to figure out why they can't do it whilst they're on the wall and come up with a solution to get them past this part of the climb. Therefore, having a knowledge of techniques comes in handy. The next bit's not so much a technique, but a good way to ensure your group doesn't get bored. With all groups, you will get some that will outperform others, which is why you need to have a backup session or progressions that they can do whilst the other members still work on their initial task. For this to work, you need to have a good background knowledge, just so you know what the next stage for them to move on to will be, but keep it so they aren't getting too far ahead of the rest of the group. As a coach, you don't actually need to be able to do the sport, you just need to be able to offer solid advice and skills. Although it would help for you to take part in the sport you're coaching, it's not necessary. In fact, once you've gained enough experience coaching, you can transfer the skills and techniques you've picked up and transfer them to a different sport and still have the same outcome of getting people to where they want to be.